Really?
It was a tough home right? He told me to 32. He went scoreless the first 9 minutes. We had to get crazy for it.
Yeah.
48 game winner team.
The end of the road game. Get a very experienced Northwestern team, and I thought we did some really good things in the Indiana game in segments. Again, it's two-possession game with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go. We cut it to 4 and committed a bad foul, and never really got it quite back there, and ended up the final margin of 8. But thought for the most part the first half was as well as we played. Really at both ends of the court. Our OER, our DER was very, very good, and then we got to continue to grow on that, and I think this team's excited about that and understands that we've got to do this for 40 minutes. So Northwestern's the next challenge. A very, very talented offensive team that, in my opinion, has really, really good wing players. Ryan Taylor and Law. Those guys are capable of getting their own shots. They're very, very big. They're unique in the fact that they don't have a starter under 6'6", and then Pardon has really improved. He's shooting ridiculous percentages. So we've got to do a good job on both all the perimeter guys, and then not let Pardon get easy touches in his scoring areas.
How will your big man rotation be affected by him, by Pardon?
Oh, I think you could see all three of them. I think there's, they do a good job of moving him out on the perimeter. He'll shoot an occasional 3, but does most of his work in the interior. And I think Georgie Samba, AD, I think they'll all take turns on him. I think he's averaging 21, I think, in league play. So we've got to make sure that we throw the whole gamut at him.
What's Northwestern maybe able to do when they've got your partner and then 4 guys that are either 6'6" or 6'7"?
Well, they look to post everybody. They're going to post our guards up. I would assume that they've done that with basically every opponent they've played. They took LeVar Simpson to the post at Michigan. They've done that based on matchups. Turner, a transfer from Boston College, is 6'7". They get those guys touches in the blocks and try to put fouls on people and or force you to help. And so we've got to deal with that. And it's not something you see every day. It's a little unique, but it's something that they can do with that size.
Is Vic Law having a season this year like Bates the update last year at Ohio State, where last year where he jumps up in production? Maybe he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's unique about Law is they don't ball screen hardly at all. Very, very little do they ball screen, and they can get the same shot with Taylor and Law without the ball screen. They're 6'8", and Taylor's 6'6", and those guys can literally just jump over you and get a shot. But he's having a fine year. He's having a great year. His numbers are a little down in Big Ten play than they were in non-league action, but we all know he's a great athlete. He's extremely long, and he's a guy that is going to hurt you from all 3 areas. He's got one of the best mid-range games I've seen.
You're probably going to have another wing forward back to help you defensively tomorrow?
Yeah, Ted will be back, and he'll be in uniform, and we've got to temper our expectations. Hasn't played in a few games, but he's been very good in practice, and it'll be nice to finally be at full strength.
I'm guessing it's still going to be a priority to try to get Georgie touches in the post. What went wrong with maybe not finding him as frequently?
Didn't throw him the ball. It's really that simple. I mean, there's very few players in the country, especially freshmen, that do and have an understanding. Georgie has a tremendous understanding in terms of seeing a play before it happens, or a pass before it happens, and so he works for that position. And we went through the film yesterday with our guys, and we showed them all the opportunities that they missed, and there's probably 25 to 30 possessions where we don't deliver the ball, and we've got to continue to work on that. And everybody talks about passing to the post being easy. It's not, and you've got a defender to throw up and over or around or under, and you've got to read help side, and yet we'll continue to improve on that.
Coach, has been 6 weeks or so since Tev last played in the game, but he's been able to practice. How have you seen him develop during that time?
Well, I think he's got more comfortable with our system. I think both ends of the court. You know, there's some confidence gained. A lot of times he's the scout team's other team's best player, so you know he's able to go kind of get his game off, so to speak, and you know he's a talented kid. He's a good athlete. I think he's you know been able to understand conceptually on the defensive side what we're doing a little more, and how he can affect the game. And we need his size, we need his length, we need his speed, you know we'll have to find a way to work him back in the lineup some.
We've seen him in here early, sometimes the first guy out on the court in practice. What has his mindset been from your vantage point through this time?
Well, I think he's never ever doubted his work ethic. I think it's one of the great things about him. And go back to the summer. I mean, he was a kid that spent a lot of time in the gym, and you know, it's been very positive. It's just an opportunity to learn and grow, and he's taken it to that step. I think now he's also seen, you know, a couple of his counterparts, Io and Georgie, have a lot of success, and how they've done it, and maybe that's comforting as well. You know, it's very rare in today's era, unless you're kind of a blue blood, that you have 2 of your 3 top freshmen be your leading scorers, and he's been able to lay witness to that. So, you know, I hope he's a more confident player than he was prior to.
How encouraging was it to see that performance from Adonis, and just maybe a little consistency in those stretches? Yeah,
no doubt. And I think the next challenge for us is to make sure that Adonis is in a position where he can get that to 16, 18 minutes a game, and then I think that it will truly have a bigger impact on us. But he's been capable. He had a great week of practice leading up to that. He was flying around, and you know, he's a guy that you know is an immovable object. I mean, he's a guy that can take up a lot of space. He impacts the game, and with his size, and we've got to be able to get him the ball as well, because he's a guy that, again, knows how to create angles and score in there.
Look,
21 turnovers on Wednesday. Was there shot clock violation, but any other time into those?
No, they were all pretty. They all came in different ways. You know, I think when you look at the turnovers and you look at the free throws, those are 2 areas that make it awfully hard to win on the road. And yet it's a 2-possession game with 2 minutes to go. And, you know, we talk a lot about those. And, you know, I think we're getting outscored 15 points a game in our true road games. That's really hard to win on the road when you're committing those fouls. We got the game right where we want it. On the road, if you told me with 2.5 to go, it's a 2-possession game, and you've got all the momentum, and then it's a foul. And, you know, that just stymies things. We committed 4 fouls in the backcourt. You know, whether offensive rebound pushing, or Dre had a couple just silly ones, and those lead to points. And we've got to mature and get past that.
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but you shot like 130 fewer free throws than your opponents this year. And how much are you maybe bringing that up or discussing it?
A lot. You know, it's something that you know, I think it speaks to our toughness a lot. You know, we talk a lot about, we work on it a lot, driving closeouts. when you drive closeouts, you're going to get hit, and there's going to be contact. And we keep talking about that, and you know, coming off ball screens and being aggressive and turning the corner and drawing contact, and we're not doing that. And we work on it daily, and yet we've got to become better at it, and keep stressing it, keep understanding the impact that it has on a basketball game, and not settling for contested threes. That's something that we're doing too much, and we've got to drive the basketball. And it's a mentality, and we're still working at it.
With what Romeo did, give me a line for 15 free throws. Does that maybe further reinforce that, or maybe they can see that it's happening against them a little bit?
I think there's been a lot of people do it. He just does it exceptionally well, and you know, it's pride sitting down guarding the basketball, and then it's you know, driving and not fouling from the defensive side. But yeah, attacking. Romeo's unique because he's an elite athlete, and he holds a lot of their vertical jump records. And then he's a barrel-chested kid. He's got a thick chest, and he's able to absorb a hit and still get it on the glass. He has some really tough shots after drawing contact, but that's his credit. He's physically very strong, and that's something that we keep talking to our guys about is driving it, taking the contact, and you know, not double clutching or just taking it up strong and barreling right through their chest. And when we'll get those calls, we'll get better at it.
A lot of your offense early at Indiana was initiated by transition. What did you see that you really liked there?
Well, a lot of it was defensive. Defensive on the defensive side. I thought we did a great job early of taking them out of stuff. I thought we did a good job of pitching the ball ahead. But it all starts with the fact that we were solid on the defensive end and we defensive rebounded. And when you can defensive rebound, you can get out and push ahead and run, and that's the balance that you have to have. You know, we have to be able to get easy baskets. We have to be able to, you know, force a couple of turnovers. And you know, I thought early in that game we did a great job of that in the first half, and then the second half, you know, it's hard to run when you're getting it out of the net after a free throw, and that stresses our offense as well. So we got to find that balance.
I had a talk before the game that when he figures it out, it kind of skyrockets in back-to-back 20-plus point games. What is it about? What's he doing differently that's kind of allowing this that maybe he hadn't been doing in the games previous to that?
Well, I think it all starts in practice. You know, he's been exceptional in practice. I think he's found out that he's going to be on the ball some. He's going to be off the ball some. He's becoming a really good perimeter shooter. You know, he picks and chooses in transition. His spots very well. You know, I think once we keep getting him cutting with authority, there's going to be another 4 to 6 points there. You know, he's been able to play in some ball screens, and that's an area he's going to continually get better at as he does that and gets stronger and gets guys in screens. And he's a great passer. And that makes everybody better. But you know, I think just his comfort is much better. And again, he's a really good player. And you know, he can score all three areas. He picks and chooses his areas very well. And yet there's still room for growth and improvement there on both ends of the court.
Experience, guys. Just said Vincent Anthony in Bloomington. Is he still away?
We can't travel more than 15 on the road. The Big Ten rule. So those guys stay.